So I'm here at Dubbo Baptist Church and chatting with Colin Johnstone, who we've had a men's group here today. It's been great to catch up with some of the blokes. So, mate, tell us a bit about your ministry background in OMF, Overseas Mission Fellowship.
Yeah. Well, Matt, I had the privilege of working with OMF in the Philippines for 5 years, basically using finance administration to re-establish Christian bookstores. But I was very aware of a very large area in East Asia where there was no opportunity for missionaries to go. And so I had the opportunity of helping establish a company, technically a secular company, that would offer Christian professionals to the leaders of this large country. And that particular organisation was soon in good contact with leaders in this large country, and these leaders were welcoming those who were Christian professionals, and they gradually spread in different parts of the country over perhaps 20 to 25 years. Starting with probably a handful of people, some already in the country who linked up, and others who came in the early days. But after 20 or so years, there were probably 350 people under this one organisation who were actually witnessing in a place where missionaries are not allowed. And that is very exciting, because you never know the number of converts in that country who are now sharing their faith.
And tell us a bit about Vision Radio here in Dubbo. I know there's a lot of people listen to it on the AM station. Do you find it's an encouragement to many people?
Well, I must admit, I have enjoyed it when I've managed to do it when I'm walking the dog and so on. I think I think it's the literature that I've mainly emphasised, and I don't always like some of the more modern music, so I'm not much of a person to ask about that.
So the Word for Today devotional, is that something you've been reading that for a while?
Yes, it's been. I found it's opened up some thoughts about aspects of life that are probably put on the back burner, and reminded me just how susceptible each one of us is to fall into traps in relationships and so on, and a good basis for praying as well, and because the Psalms and the Proverbs are always very, very challenging.
I know that one of the guys that runs the men's group here said that he'll often read a Word for Today devotional to the men and share some thoughts on it. It's a good springboard for devotions, and one of the other ladies here said that she does it for her family devotions at dinner every night, and I thought that's great to hear. And tell us a bit about Dubbo. I know there's been a bit of a youth crime problem here. Have you been hearing some tough situations with young people recently?
Well, and only second-hand or in the newspapers. I'm not very close to people that talk about that. I am aware that Dubbo is the base for a new outreach to Indigenous people through Lifeline, and they have trained Aboriginal Indigenous people how to counsel people on Lifeline phones, and they are getting increasing numbers of people, not just from Dubbo but from other parts of the state, are ringing in and seeking help.
And I know you shared with me recently that you've been helping with Lifeline for a while, and even just recently you had a record amount of calls. So there's a lot of people ringing up struggling at the moment, hey?
Well, it seems that way, and I hear from the Lifeline leaders that they're struggling to have enough people on the phones to actually answer calls. And it is undoubtedly an epidemic of loneliness even in our society, and mental illness is definitely mental illness is prevalent in many of the calls, and some ascribe it to being alone in COVID, and often it meant they've lost a job and they're too old to get another one, and that sense of hope and purpose is missing in their lives.
Well, good work you're doing with Lifeline, and pray that many more lives are impacted. Thanks for catching up with us here in Dubbo. God bless.
And we just do pray that you'll have a really fruitful time here. Okay.